Right now, live at 5, COVID cases increase in St. Louis County. The area sees its largest single-day increase since the start of the pandemic. What's behind the uptick? And thanks to a big donation, the Superior Fire Department has a brand new ladder truck. We take you aboard and tell you how it was made possible. Plus, Ruth Bader Ginsburg becomes the first woman to lie in state at the Capitol today, becoming just the second Supreme Court justice to receive the honor. And speaking out, we're hearing from the family of Breonna Taylor for the first time since this week's grand jury decision.
You're watching Live at 5 on Live Local CBS3.
Welcome to the CBS3 News Live at 5. Not that you can tell really right now, but this is a live look from Spirit Mountain, a very foggy day out there. And the future of Spirit Mountain is up in the air this winter as city councilors deliberate on whether the city should allocate more money for the resort. That story and more coming up in this half hour of the CBS3 News Live at 5. Good evening, I'm Kristen Bakke.
And I'm Anthony Matt. Thanks for joining us. Duluth City Councilors are expected to make a big decision at their meeting Monday night, impacting whether or not Spirit Mountain opens this winter.
CBS3's Emma Quinn is at Spirit Mountain with the latest.
As you mentioned, Spirit Mountain's wedding venue, Adventure Park and Ski Hills didn't open for the summer as a health safety precaution due to COVID-19. And now they're looking like they're having some trouble in a financial situation as they get ready to open for the winter. Now that's left the Hill in a tough financial situation, and they weigh in whether or not to open the Hill this year. At this point, city officials say they don't think the mountain can open without some financial assistance. So at Monday's meeting, city councilors will consider whether or not to reroute about $300,000 to Spirit Mountain. That money was originally intended for a nearby project in the St. Louis River watershed, but after getting community input, City Councilor Eric Forsman said they decided against spending it there for right now. Now the city has that $300,000 left in an account that can only be spent on a project in the western corridor of the city. So Spirit Mountain could be the next beneficiary if city councilors vote yes on Monday. Forsman says the ski hill will have the finances to reopen this winter. If councilors vote no, Spirit will stay closed this season. Among other reasons, Forsman pointed to outdoor recreation trends during the pandemic for supporting the funding.
So as you see these trends where people are starting to use these assets more because they need something to do, it's the wrong time to then say, let's not open Spirit Mountain up for the winter.
You may remember the city also gave Spirit Mountain more than $200,000 last winter after a bad storm forced the cancellation of a major event, and they lost out on that revenue. With that fresh in his mind, Councilor Derek Medved said he's worried that if councilors approve this money, it won't be long before Spirit asks for more.
If they're asking us for startup funds in the amount of $300,000, I don't think that even comes close to the ask that they will be asking for next time. And so, when does it end?
There's also the question of whether to close it down permanently. City administrators say Spirit could come with a cost. Now, city administrators estimated that could put Duluth on the hook for about $1.5 million. This whole discussion comes at the same time a task force has been considering how to make Spirit Mountain financially sustainable for the long term. And that task force is expected to release its report in February. Now, City Councilor Eric Forsman did mention that Spirit Mountain does not qualify for COVID relief money, and so because of that, they can't apply for it. And he said that is also something that they have proposed and they will vote on Monday if there is any solutions to help them.
Thanks, Emma. Also at Monday's meeting, councilors will consider a move they hope would help protect the city's shoreline from future damage. It would close a path between the lake and the Ledges townhomes. The city says that area is vulnerable to repeat damage, which is expensive. A new path between the lake and the Beacon Point development would also be put on hold. More than $900,000 in FEMA money originally intended for this area would be reallocated to fix storm damage at Brighton Beach and Wabashishikana Trail. In a letter to councilors this week, the Friends of the Lake Walk group asked the councilors to wait and seek public input before voting.
Starting today, bars and taverns in Ashland will close for more than 2 weeks. The Ashland County Health and Human Services Department issued the order after a recent rise in COVID-19 cases. The order impacts bars and taverns within the Ashland city limits and within 2.5 miles of the city. The order lasts through October 11th.
More protests and arrests in Louisville overnight, with many people still upset that the officers who returned fire at Breonna Taylor's apartment were not charged in her death. This morning, the family of the 26-year-old EMT addressed the media. Jerica Duncan is following the story in Louisville.
Breonna Taylor's family spoke out publicly this morning for the first time since a grand jury decided not to indict any of the officers for Taylor's death.
I hope you never know the pain of your child being murdered 191 days in a row. Tamika Palmer. I am so sorry. So sorry you got to go through this.
Family attorney Ben Crump calls the situation a grave miscarriage of justice.
What kind of sham grand jury proceeding was this? Breonna's legacy would be that black women life matters too.
The mood here in Louisville remains tense, with more protests on the streets Thursday night. Demonstrations began peacefully but escalated after the 9 p.m. curfew. Police started arresting protesters, including some carrying hammers and spray paint. A local church offered sanctuary for other protesters, but police arrested many outside. As protests continue, a lawyer for Sergeant Jonathan Mattingly has shared this video from the apparent raid in March that killed Taylor. It shows the moments after Mattingly was shot by Taylor's boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, who says he fired his gun thinking the officers were intruders. One of the Louisville officers shot during the protests made an appearance at work yesterday. Both officers are expected to recover. The 9 p.m. curfew will remain in place throughout the weekend.
Taylor's family wants the state attorney general to release the transcripts of the grand jury proceeding.
In other national news, Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg became the first woman and first Jewish person to lie in state today. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi opened the ceremony honoring Justice Ginsburg's life and accomplishments. Former Vice President Joe Biden was present, along with running mate Kamala Harris. Some top Republicans, including Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, were absent. The rabbi who led the procession described Ginsburg as a champion for justice.
Justice did not arrive like a lightning bolt, but rather through dogged persistence.
President Trump paid his respects to Justice Ginsburg on Thursday before returning to the campaign trail. And Dave's here for weather now. Dave, it's a gloomy and foggy day across our area, huh?
Especially around the head of the lakes, where extra moisture, of course, kept the clouds up and the cloud deck pretty low. And there's a low-pressure system feeding on all of this, and it's been bringing a little bit of rain to parts of the region already. About a half of an inch towards International Falls, and a third around Ely, a third of an inch around Grand Rapids, too. And as the low progresses past our region tonight, everybody has a chance for a little bit of precip, which we do need, and we'll get a follow-up chance from the same system through tomorrow afternoon. So tonight won't be the only chance for rain we get. There's the warm front leading the parade right now, and the cold front will follow tomorrow. Then for Sunday, some higher pressure should filter in from the northwest and bring a little bit of sun. We might not chase away all the rain chances on Sunday, but it'll knock them down quite a bit. So our forecast for the weekend looks like this. Tonight, 50% chance for more rain, low temp near 50 degrees. For Saturday, it's a 40% chance for more precip, especially in the afternoon, high 67. Then Sunday, partly sunny to partly cloudy, high of 63. There's a descending trend in temperatures. I'll talk about how low we could go by this time next week with our 7-day forecast, which we'll show you in a few more minutes.
All right, thanks, Dave. Still to come on Live at 5, a night of unity in Hibbing, plus the second annual Pasty Festival in Mountain Iron City by City is next.
Plus tonight at 6, while it may seem like an unusual time to open a restaurant, two brothers are taking on the challenge with some help from a well-known Duluth family with a lot of experience in the business.
You're watching Live at 5 with Kristen Vaki, Anthony Matt, and weather with meteorologist Dave Anderson on Live Local CBS3.
Season 2 is
The
here.
Kelly Clarkson Show, weekdays at 3 on CBS3.
Spiny water fleas are an invasive species that threatens Minnesota lakes. Recent research from the University of Minnesota has shown that lakes with spiny water fleas have fewer and smaller walleye than uninvaded lakes. You can help prevent the spread of spiny water flea by draining all water and wiping down your equipment when you leave the lake. This especially includes fishing lines and reels, live wells, and bait buckets. Learn more at stopspiny.org.
We insure your car because some people never learn to park. That's simple human sense.
Ask J3 Insurance in Duluth if auto owners make sense for you.
A little compassion goes a long way at Arrowhead Supply. Donate $50 or more to charity and save more than ever before on stressless seating. Get up to $400 off stressless recliners and office chairs, plus save hundreds more with $200 off every sofa seat you buy. Now's the perfect time to help others and fill your home with the unmatched comfort and beauty of stressless seating. Shop Arrowhead Supply, 1819 West Superior Street in Duluth and 214 2nd Avenue North in Virginia.
At Play It Again Sports, we have the largest selection of new and used hockey equipment in the area, along with a huge selection of hockey sticks, apparel, and cross-country skis.
Trade in, trade up, and save.
I'm Tina Smith. I approve this message. It's frustrating in Washington sometimes. It is hard to get things done, but you have to keep on trying. If you look for that common ground, you can figure it out. Here's an example. There is a real shortage of access to maternal care in small towns and rural areas. So I teamed up with Lisa Murkowski from Alaska, who sees exactly the same thing in her state. And it doesn't matter that I'm a Democrat and she's a Republican. We both see the same problem. If you try, you can find common ground. And I think that's what I'm in Washington to do.
Season 2 is here, y'all. And yes, I am in an eye patch. How much more, Kelly, can it
get? The
get?
Kelly Clarkson Show, weekdays at 3 on CBS3.
Welcome back to the CBS3 News, live at 5. Here's a live look from Bayfield. Clearly a little clearer over there. Dave will have your full weather forecast in just a few minutes. But first, let's take a look at what's happening around the region.
A grand reopening for a historic depot in Winter, Wisconsin, plus an opportunity to connect with law enforcement in Hibbing.
That and more as we take you around the Northland, city by city.
Kicking it off in Hibbing, where the city, along with the Hibbing Police Department, is putting on an event to connect law enforcement with the community they serve. The Hibbing Night to Unite will be held Tuesday, October 6th at Bennett Park. The event will allow community members to speak with law enforcement officers and firefighters, as well as take pictures with the squad cars and trucks. The event will be from 3 to 6 p.m. and food and water will be provided.
Now heading to Mountain Iron, where organizers are preparing, prepare yourself, Tony, to celebrate the second annual Pasty Festival next month. The festival is put on by the Iron Range Partnership for Sustainability and is their biggest fundraiser of the year. No surprise there. This year, the festival will be scaled back due to COVID-19. Homemade pasties will be available for pickup via drive-thru on October 10th. You'll have until October 8th to pre-order. We'll have that number on our website.
Kristen's favorite event. And finally, we're finishing off in Winter, Wisconsin, where tourists can now visit the newly restored 1905 Winter Depot. The depot ran as a functioning train station up until the late 1950s. The restoration was a project 14 years in the making. Organizers reached out to several government agencies in order to raise funding for the restoration. Renovations finally began last March, and the depot officially reopened its doors on September 4th.
If there's something going on in your neighborhood that you think we should know about, send us an email and it might be featured as we go around the Northland, city by city.
Still to come on Live at 5, brain injuries impact more people than we realize. Kelly Hinseth will have the details coming up next.
As a pasty connoisseur, I have to say Serbian Orthodox pasties have been the best I've tried over the years. Folks out there in the western parts of Duluth do a good job with those, along with everybody else in the region who takes the chance to put meat and potato into bread. Well, taking a look at the sky above Ascove, it's a little bit gray there, kind of like uncooked pasty. Well, sunshine could be with us again, perhaps by Sunday. In between, rain chances rumbling. We'll talk about it right after our break.
Yeah, I think we're good here. Why do we offer so many active safety features on our Chevy SUVs?
Oh, yeah.
All set.
Ready, Freddie?
Because we're not just engineers.
Pause when you get there, okay? Slowly. I'm going slow. We have families, too.
Get 15% of MSRP cash back on most 2020 Equinox models. That's over $5,700 cash back on this Equinox. Plus, current GM owners get an additional $750 cash allowance. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
Hi, I'm Steve Little with Bath Planet, your simple and affordable choice for bathtubs, showers, surrounds, and safety tubs. Right now, we are offering 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments until 2022, or get your dream bathroom for as little as $69 a month. This offer ends September 30th, so call us today or go online to book your appointment to take advantage of this amazing offer. Bath Planet. Out of this world service and down to earth price.
Be smart. Be active. Be confident. Vision Pro Optical is here for you, specializing in eye exams, glasses, contacts, and billing your insurance. Serving the Northland for more than 30 years with you as our focus. Visit visionprooptical.com for hours and location details. Vision Pro Optical. Be and be seen.
The Kelly Clarkson Show, right here.
Weekdays at 3 on CBS3. You work hard for your money and deserve to see it go the extra mile. Join us Wednesday mornings and hear from local experts on tips to better manage your finances in Eye on Money on live, local CBS3. Brought to you by MPPL Financial.
Season 2 is here, y'all. And yes, I am in an eye patch. How much more Kelly can it
The
get?
Kelly Clarkson Show, weekdays at 3 on CBS3.
The Kelly Clarkson Show, right here.
Weekdays at 3 on CBS3. Now, the CBS3 Duluth Weather Max forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
Well, it's late season as far as thunderstorms go, but we do have a chance tonight, and one of the agents that leads a severe thunderstorm, or at least a stronger thunderstorm, an Arcus cloud, which is split into 2 varieties, a shelf cloud or a roll cloud. And from a distance, it's hard to tell which one this is approaching Chisholm, but indeed, we have a storm chance approaching through the Iron Range right now, and it could fill into the rest of the region here tonight. Not expected to become really severe, but any thunderstorm up above can put the fear into a person, and you're supposed to go seek shelter. If you see it, flee it. If you hear it, clear it. You know that old saying from the National Weather Service. Well, there's a 50% chance for showers and storms tonight, a 40% follow-up for Saturday, but Sunday may be a calmer day with at least a little bit of sunshine. We'll talk more about that, of course, after we set the stage with our current conditions from the airport, where it's 57 degrees, and the humidity is thick again, just like yesterday, 93%. And so that's why we have a low ceiling, a thick cloud cover up above, and fog popping up at the surface. The easterly, southeasterly wind right now is going 10 miles per hour, and our air pressure is low at 29.66. Now the wind has become southerly, 3 miles per hour. The relative humidity's gone up to 97%, so things are changing by the moment. And temperature-wise, well, on the fringes of our region where the cloud cover's not so thick, we have lower 70s in the Upper Peninsula and 74 down towards Hayward, but only 59 Ashland, only 59 in Superior, and only 63 for Moose Lake. A lot of 50s along the North Shore here. 50s on the Iron Ranges as well. 66 International Falls. The rain chance tonight, like I mentioned, is about a 50-50 shot. Should go away Sunday morning. And then temperatures, well, if they're around 70 for some towns today, they'll be in the 60s tomorrow. And soon enough in the next 7 days into the 50s, maybe even a couple of 40s. So the general trend for temperatures will be for them to descend. And a little bit of rain is descending in the Arrowhead of Minnesota. There's that latest line of storms. Indeed, it is near Hibbing and Chisholm right now and up through much of the rest of the Iron Range territory and pushing through the Arrowhead. By the time things are said and done late on Saturday from this system, it looks like we could have another quarter to even an inch worth of rain around our region, which we do need. And then for Sunday, drier conditions do filter in, at least for a little while. If not overly sunny, at least it should be fairly dry. Tonight in Minnesota, low temps 47 to 53, 50% rain chance, 40% shot in Wisconsin, Michigan, lows near 50. For tomorrow, Wisconsin, Michigan, 50% rain chance there, highs 65 to 70. 40% chance for Minnesota, so we flipped things around. 65 to 70 for the high temp. And now with the extended forecast here, yeah, there's that descent in temperatures from 60s for the weekend to 50s for Tuesday and Wednesday, down to the 40s, probably around Thursday. So not a bad weekend, Tony. A little bit of rain tomorrow, which we need. Maybe a chance to get out and enjoy on Sunday. Then after that, start to bundle up.
Looks like fall. Thanks, Dave. Brain injuries can happen to anyone, anywhere, at any time. It impacts people throughout all communities and does not discriminate. Kelly Hinsitz joins us now to talk about an event coming up that is raising awareness of the issue. Kelly, what do you know?
Yeah, brain injury. It's something we think of with professional athletes or military veterans, but the reality is that brain injury impacts more people than we expect. Take Paul Deputy, for example. Paul is a retired speech pathologist at UMD who didn't even know he had a brain injury until a month after. A fall on the ice didn't seem like something until he noticed cognitive differences in his speech and his everyday life.
But at one time I was not being able to put my jacket on. And then Joyce said, here, it was at breakfast, pick up the napkin. And I couldn't. And that's when I went by ambulance to the hospital and got reevaluated again. And then I spent almost 2 months in the hospital, most of it being in rehabilitation. Both my wife and the doctors told me, work hard. You can get a lot of this back.
Join me in the Brain Injury Alliance for the first annual virtual Walk for Thought tomorrow. Because of COVID, we aren't able to congregate and get together in person, but you can walk starting tomorrow at 10 a.m. around your neighborhood or a park and share your photos and videos online. I'll be walking outside tomorrow with my friend Olivia by ourselves, socially distanced, so you should too. I'm going to send it back to you guys in the studio.
A great event to participate in. Thanks, Kelly. Employees in all kinds of different fields have gone above and beyond during the pandemic, but many say they're not getting the thanks they deserve. Laura Podesta looks at how much a thank you can be appreciated.
She gets me. After completing a recent work project, Lexi Fields got this "You're awesome" meme from her manager. The small gesture meant the world.
It really doesn't take, a lot of effort to do something like that, but it does mean something to us all. We do feel like a family on this team.
But it seems her boss's expression of thankfulness is not the norm. A recent survey of 500 Americans found nearly half had not received a thank you from their boss during the pandemic. The company WorkHuman conducted the study. Eric Mosley is the CEO.
That's a huge number. Yeah, it's quite unbelievable. If you think about it in today's world, with all that's going on, we've asked tens of millions of people to work from home. And sometimes under duress, they don't have ideal circumstances. It's a very stressful time.
On Twitter, worker complaints run rampant. Do you feel appreciated?
I feel like things have changed. I feel like society's kind of forgotten about what we're in, despite having to wear masks, social distance anywhere and everywhere that they go.
EMT Carl Robinson says he got lots of thanks for being a frontline worker at the beginning of the pandemic, but not lately.
Do you think if the praise was more consistent, praise from society and from your patients, you would be motivated to do an even better job?
I do.
And others agree. In the WorkHuman study, 64% of people say receiving a thank you during the pandemic inspired them to work even harder.
Still to come, the Superior Fire Department will soon have a new ladder truck thanks to a generous donation.
I'm Quinn Nystrom, and I approve this message.
Pete Stauber and our healthcare. It's like the fox guarding the hen house. Stauber took tens of thousands of dollars from corporate special interests, like the healthcare industry, and voted against lowering drug prices 5 times. Stauber even voted to let insurance companies sell junk plans that deny coverage for people with pre-existing conditions. We can't trust Pete Stauber to guard our health care.
I'm Tina Smith. I approve this message. It's frustrating in Washington sometimes. It is hard to get things done, but you have to keep on trying. If you look for that common ground, you can figure it out. Here's an example. There is a real shortage of access to maternal care in small towns and rural areas. So I teamed up with Lisa Murkowski from Alaska, who sees exactly the same thing in her state. And it doesn't matter that I'm a Democrat and she's a Republican. We both see the same problem. If you try, you can find common ground. And I think that's what I'm in Washington to do.
Ready, set, internet.
Extreme has the speed and price to get you online fast. Stop waiting and get going for as low as $19.99 a month for a year with speeds from 60 meg up to 1 gig. Powerful in-home Wi-Fi and 99.99% network reliability. Extreme has what you need to stay ahead and stay on track. Hurry and get Extreme Internet for as low as $19.99 a month for 1 year. Dial 844-EXTREME2.
A brand new season is here. And yes, I am in an eye patch. How much more, Kelly, can it get? Air hugs only, people.
You're the most beautiful pirate. The Kelly Clarkson Show, weekdays at 3 on CBS3.
Tonight at 6, the Superior Fire Department will soon own a brand new ladder truck, the donation that made it possible.
Another line of precip is coming our way. Will it pack a punch? I'll tell you all about it coming up tonight at 6.
Season 2 is
The
here,
Kelly
y'all.
Clarkson Show, weekdays at 3 on CBS3. When President Trump made an appearance in Bemidji, we were there.
Trump will be here in Bemidji. Crowds of people already.
When Biden was giving his speech in Hermantown, we were there. When protests broke out, we were there.
Today he said that Trump doesn't represent.
When you wanted to have accurate info at the drop of a hat, we were there. For the best local campaign coverage, watch the local station. Live, local, CBS3.
These are tough times for everyone.
In the midst of a health and economic crisis,
1 in 8 Minnesotans now faces hunger.
It's time to come together, Minnesota.
Help faith doesn't end.
Join us in the Home Teams versus Hunger initiative and bid on amazing items, unique experiences, and autographed merchandise packages.
To bid or simply donate, visit toharvest.org/hometeams.
And come together to fight hunger.
The Kelly Clarkson Show, right here.
Weekdays at 3 on CBS3.
The Superior Fire Department will soon own a brand new ladder truck thanks to a donation from Enbridge. Today, Enbridge Energy presented Superior Fire Chief Scott Gordon with a $7,500 check to assist the department in the purchase of the new truck. The new vehicle will replace the department's aging ladder truck, which has been in service for more than 15 years. Chief Gordon says in addition to being a more modern piece of equipment, the new truck's extended ladder will be a great asset on calls.
The difference will be now is when we get up 100 feet is we're actually on a tower. That allows us to stay there longer and certainly safer. We can have multiple people there for long periods of time, and we can articulate.
Chief Gordon adds, well, the purchase of the truck was funded by industrial partners and will still be used to serve Superior residents.
St. Louis County is reporting its largest one-day COVID-19 case total. It's the second time it's happened in the last week. Health officials say 73 confirmed cases were reported today. The county's previous highest one-day case total was 53. 18 of the cases reported today involve residents of long-term care facilities. 14% of the new cases during the month of September have been linked to UMD. The county's health director, Amy Westbrook, says the increase is not linked to the recently launched saliva testing site at the deck as all but one of the new cases had a test date prior to the launch. She adds if cases continue to rise at this rate, restrictions could be tightened again.
You know, as our community rates increase, there's more opportunity to turn the dial back rather than forward.
While no deaths were reported today, St. Louis County has reported 10 deaths in the last week. 9 of the 10 deaths involved residents of long-term care facilities. We'll be right back after the break.
CBS3 closed captioning is brought to you by Essentia Health. Have our certified nurse midwives provide personal one-on-one support and guidance for your next pregnancy. Visit essentiahealth.org to learn more.
We connect people to their work, to their families, to all things essential. That's why your Touchstone Energy Cooperative is here every day, making life easier in all the ways that matter. And of all the connections we make, we know none are more powerful than the human connection. Touchstone Energy Cooperatives, your source for power and information.
The Social Security Administration just released a report saying that if a plan like the one Trump is proposing goes into effect, the Social Security Trust Fund would be, and I quote, permanently depleted by the middle of calendar year 2023. Put it plainly, Trump's plan would wipe out Social Security. If I'm your president, we're going to protect Social Security and Medicare. You have my word. I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Invasive species are organisms that are non-native to an ecosystem. They outcompete native species and reduce the quality of our resources. We can all prevent the spread by following the simple clean, drain, and dry steps. Clean all watercraft, trailers, and outdoor equipment. Drain all water from boat live wells, motors, ballast tanks, and bilges. And lastly, thoroughly dry all equipment and gear. Do your part to preserve our amazing outdoor heritage for future generations.
Mining. It's a part of Minnesota's history that affects everyone in the Northlands still to this day.
Watch Eye on Mining with Kristen Vaki every Tuesday at 10. Brought to you by Iron Mining Association, Range Regional Airport, and Miners National Bank of Evelyn. Only on live, local CBS3. Men's wardrobe provided by Mainstream Fashions for Men. Your fall fashion headquarters with new arrivals daily. Downtown Duluth.
Welcome back to the CBS 3 News Live at 5. Here's a live look from a gloomy Canal Park as we head into the weekend. Let's take a quick look at some of today's top stories and a peek at what's coming at 6. City councilors are expected to make a big decision at their meeting Monday night, and it could decide whether or not Spirit Mountain opens this winter. The recreational area's wedding venue, Adventure Park, and mountain biking trails didn't open for the summer as a health safety precaution.
And tonight at 6, while it may seem like an unusual time to open a restaurant, two brothers are taking on the challenge with some help from a well-known Duluth family with a lot of experience in the business. That's your news at 5. The CBS Evening News is next.
We'll see you again at 6 o'clock.